Welcome to Happy on Purpose with Janesse Pearson. Real conversations with the people behind the businesses, the projects, and the good things happening in the Okanagan.
Today's guest on Happy on Purpose is RobinMartin, founder of Bluebird Healing right here in Vernon, British Columbia. Robin works with sound, music, meditation, and experiences designed to support well-being. But underneath all of that is a deep curiosity about consciousness, healing, and what it means to be human in a busy and often disconnected world. Today, we're experiencing sound healing, modern life, and some of the questions that many of us are quietly carrying. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you.
It's funny because we had a chance to talk, and I do this with too many guests. So don't feel like you're repeating some of the good stuff we already talked about. Just go for it.
For sure.
So Robin, before Bluebird Healing and Sound Journeys, what originally sparked your interest in consciousness and this whole personal growth and well-being culture?
Yeah. I think since I was a kid, I was born with an insane curiosity. I've never had the ability to just look at this world, hear what I was being told, and just accept this is how it is. Welcome on earth. This is what you have to do. This is how you talk. This is how you behave. All this external guidance has always been hard for me to follow. I've always thought, this doesn't feel fully right. There's more to it. I was obsessed as a kid with ghost stories, paranormal, extraterrestrial, the spirit world, all that thing. It's something that has always very resonated with me. Mm-hmm. And I mean, through my path, I went on and off, with exploring this. I've not always been fully in it, but I feel I was born with this desire, with this curiosity to understand if there's more to this body that I have, to these things that I can touch. Is there an unseen realm of things? So yeah, it has always been something that I'm just very interested in instinctively.
Yeah, I think for a lot of the guests that I've had the privilege of interviewing in this world, it's just curiosity. Mm-hmm. And I love what you said of just kind of feeling I don't know, I don't know if what I'm being told is completely accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. But was there a particular experience or a turning point that sent you down this particular path?
Yeah, so music, I started music when I was about 16 years old. I went to a stadium show of AC/DC in the south of France, and it blew my mind so hard that a few days later I bought a drum kit and I started to play the drum. It was it ignited something inside of me. And I fell in love with music right away. I did drums for a few years, and then I started to play a little bit of the piano, the guitar, and I was jamming with a friend, and we couldn't find a singer. We were looking for a singer, couldn't find, and then at some point I'd say, well, you know what, I'll try it, and I started to sing a little bit when I was 18 years old. I got into sound professionally as well. I did a sound school. And I worked in the live music industry in France for about 5 years. And then I stopped music for a while before reconnecting about 3 years and a half from today. So that was kind of the music aspect. On the other aspect, I had multiple very mystical experiences. I guess the first one was when I was in my early 20s. I did a Ouija board experience with a few friends. Some crazy things had happened, and then I started to explore this just by myself with different ways. Instead of using a Ouija board, I started to do what we call automatic writing and drawing.
Okay.
And
tell me a little, but what is that?
Yeah, so
it's what you see psychics
the
doing.
Concept.
Right?
Yeah, it's the concept of channeling. Basically, is the belief that something else can work through you if you allow it to deliver a message or do something. Oh, okay. I believe we are always channeling our soul, but this kind of specific thing, and I have books and books and books. I've never shared publicly, but I have books and books of notebooks of crazy different like drawings and stuff like that. I'll show you if you want. And I started to explore that without really thinking much about it and without sharing about anyone, because I don't come from a place or a family where there's any kind of things like that going on. But this was kind of my first experience exploring and thinking, well, like there might be some stuff about that.
This was when you were doing the Ouija board? It
Yeah,
all kind of came up?
before. It's early 20s, so like 12 years ago, something like that. And then what sparked this was I had a hypnotherapy session where crazy things happened in there. I was kind of at some point in a state where I felt like something was talking through me. And I've seen different things, and I started to see, this story is a little out there, but I started to see it within the hypnotherapy, kind of like people that were looking like birds, and they were blue. And it was the first time like I saw this thing, and a little after that, I did a breathwork session where I was completely gone from this world. I don't know if you've ever tried breathwork, if you've ever done something like that.
Not in the sense of, I think, what you're talking about,
Right.
just normal, like, the deep breathing and a little bit of that. But
I did like some sort of more of like a shamanic breathwork session kind of thing, and I was like completely gone of this world. And once again, I was having this visualization experience where I would see another world, and I would see these bird-like beings all around me. And then right after that, I came up into my mind the Bluebird. And I didn't do anything about it for a while after this. And then the final piece is I did a psilocybin journey. And this was just everything came up, the music, not fully what I'm doing right now, but it came up that I needed to use music to do something to create experience with it, because I had a special connection with music. And kind of all these experiences kind of blended into it. And I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to try and start something. And I started with just creating playlists and putting music, and then narrating stories or visualization experiences. And as I was doing that, a lot of people would have like crazy emotional reaction. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy, and there's something in there. And this is how kind of it started. So multiple little things that really brought it up.
little breadcrumbs, right?
Yeah.
Or little journeys. From my background, when you say hypnotherapy and that stuff, accessing the subconscious, absolutely real. Same dream states, dream interpretation, all that. It can sound really out there and woo-woo, but there's science, like there's real science around that stuff. So that's not way out there.
No, but I mean, I'm saying that because I like to, and also it's not something that I share a lot because I don't want to, there's a part of me that don't want to scare people off as well.
Sure.
And I think it's not fully necessary to know that. Those that are interested, like I'm open with it, but that's kind of the story of how it came to life. But also it's not fully necessary to say, hey, I connected to weird bluebird beings to do that. You can like not know this, be completely not into any kind of concept like that, and still have a very good experience with it. So this is why, I'm kind of like carrying this story and sharing to whoever is open to or want to hear it, but it's not necessarily something that I'm yelling everywhere because it's just part of the story, but it's not.
It's how you got here.
Yeah.
I obviously, I had shared prior to this that you were so gracious to offer a private session for me and Rob. And I have, of course, through trainings and courses and, you get, but there's just something, and even Rob said it when we left, there's something to the tones of your voice. And I'm sure there's some science around that, but the deeper frequency, I get emotional even, like you could revisit it. It's those deeper, and then the music and the crescendo up to like, and then the higher, like it just gets you somewhere. And you don't have to understand it. It's like, I drive my car every day, couldn't tell you how the engine works. Who cares? Who cares, right? So, I mean, I think that's the beauty of what you're doing is it hits a point of the connection between all human beings on some level Do we know why? I don't know why. And who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were called to it, whatever that sounds like or looks like. And the blue, whatever, it's blue, it's a bird, it's great, it's wonderful, you know, it means something to you, and I think that's what's important.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, music is a great connector, right? Like you said it, and what I love about it the most is that it can bypass the mind, and this is why I in my experience also, I don't use a lot of words. Well, it's different from the experience you had. There was a lot of guidance, but a lot of session, I don't use a lot of words. And when I sing, I don't use words because the brain reacts differently, and it's easier to go straight into the emotional body rather than if I start to sing words, there's going to be a part of you that's going to process this and less be on the felt experience. So,
100%.
but yeah, music is so, what I love it a lot about it is that it's just, it holds you and it meets you where you at. And when it's loud and it's there, there's no escape from music. Music will get you straight into the heart, right? But with a lot of compassion. It's not like, feel this, it comes and it's these sound waves that come and move the energy through you. And it's gentle, but in the same time, it's very powerful. And you don't need to receive that, you don't need to express. Then after, you need to integrate and do things with your life if suddenly it brought up inside of, I need to change this or that or whatever. But to receive this, you don't need to express anything, because I know this can be tough to, and you as a counselor, I guess you have this experience of knowing, you know, that it can be very hard to talk about how we feel, especially for men, to talk about things and traumatic events and all that stuff. And I like that you can lay and receive, and things will move without having to express if it's not where you're at yet. But yeah.
There is, again, I've kind of been out of the therapeutic, well, the counseling world for a few years now, but there's a lot of research on not taking your clients through their most traumatic experiences. That is the work of a psychotherapist and a psychiatrist and maybe even a psychologist. Your basic clinical counselor, therapeutic counselor, yes, registered, all training, you know, years and years, sometimes 7 years, right? Still not ready to deal with that deep trauma. And when we take people to that place and ask them to vocalize it out of their mouth and into their ears again, you can actually re-traumatize them, because you're exactly right. The words can be interpreted. The memory lies sometimes over years of however many times we've spoken it. It can be bigger, 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 bigger. So I'm really, really glad you addressed that, because the personal experience that you have, what comes up for you emotionally, you use the word, it moves the emotion, very healthy. But the speaking it, even witnessing it, can be very, very psychologically damaging.
Yeah.
So there is a very, you know, we talked about that a little briefly. I think we have to be careful with that. But music takes you.
Yeah.
There's no interpretation. It's just a feeling. And we need more of that.
Yeah.
I really think. And also I shared with the other video is, if even through the guided experience, where I got emotional was not from sadness, it was just pure emotion. But the guided childhood stuff, maybe because I have done this work and done my own work. I mean, I've had a therapist since 2010, and I see her every month, whether I need it or not, even in my best times, because you don't know what's going to come up. But it was, I was able to look at some of the things that I still was thinking were maybe me hiding or trauma or unsafe and trying to heal as a child. And now I see them as, they were my safety. They were my, something where I went and was able to be a little more creative. It didn't have to be a traumatic experience. So yeah, I think the work you're doing, even if you don't even fully yet know where you're heading with this, it's different in that aspect. It's healing. It maybe not therapy, but it's healing. Yeah, I respect what you're doing so much. So maybe this rolls into the next question: is we live in a world full of information, again, the brain, the cognition, self-help, and wellness advice. Oh, are we not overwhelmed with advice? What do you think people are really searching for underneath all of that? And we did talk about your one video, and I think that's where it all lies. Is what is the one thing we only have is that's certain is dying. Everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all try to find some sort of meaning and make this life bearable for us, right? The problem, I mean, within this industry, again, like we have this tendency in this society to push things to the extreme and to go far into something to then realize, oh, we went a little too far, and so we go far into the other until we kind of like through history stabilize. Exactly. I don't know for everyone. I can maybe speak for myself. The way I see this, like, first of all, we need to find the courage to dive inside and to diverge from like all this external guidance and advice. Like the first thing is cultivating this self-awareness, and it starts with allowing you to pause, stop, and go inward and look at yourself. And we don't have all the same capacity because we're not trained and taught to do this. Yes. We're trained to look outside for the authority that is going to tell you, Robin, this is how you do this, this is what you're going to do. And so, and this is hard, and it's scary, because once you bring the light on, oh, I've been following all these things, I've been checking all these boxes to be a functioning human being in this society, and now what? I'm not really fully happy. I feel, and it can get even worse than that. And so, yeah, to me, the first thing is this, like self-awareness. Know yourself and allow yourself to go look at all these parts of yourself. And then once you're there, you can, with a little bit of clarity, decide, okay, this is where I want to go with my life. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be at service at. And in this journey, we'll raise walls and blocks in front of you. And to me, the only thing I want to work on or heal, it's to break these walls or integrate these walls so that I can be continuing on my path. And that's what's important for me. All the rest around, there's a million things I can heal. I still don't have a great relationship with my body. I used to have intense eating disorder, body dysmorphia, because I was bullied as a kid. I've done a lot of things there, but there's still some things, but I'm not obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with becoming the version of myself that is unafraid to express, that is going to push this thing to the maximum of what I can express so that I can fully embody what is this thing that I believe I'm here to do. But I'm not seeing all this thing and looking for all the advice to be the best version of myself. I don't even want to, and like, what does that even mean?
By
and
whose standard?
By
what
whose standard?
Mean?
Exactly.
Like,
and where does it end? Because it never ends. Like, you can always be better on anything. I don't care about being the best version of myself. I want to be the version of myself that is able to stand for what I believe is true, to speak my truth, to do some cool things, to enjoy also this journey. Because, damn, if we don't enjoy this time here, like, what are we doing? So that's what I think. I don't know if like everyone needs to do that, but that's how I see this and that's what I'm interested.
Yeah, it's for you, right?
Yeah.
I have often said people are so busy outsourcing the expertise on their own life. And I'm like, when you really think about that, you're going to somebody else to ask them how you're supposed to live your life, or how you're supposed to interpret things that happen to you. When did we stop sitting quietly and just listening to what we know is true for us? And even that will change over time. Like I said, the memory is a funny thing, you know? So I love that it's just, you're not as concerned about optimizing your life, just doing the best thing right now in this moment for Robin. Yeah. Oh man, if more people would do that, right?
I know. Yeah, it's just the things that matters. But again, like, that's the same thing it all comes down to we're really conditioned to look for that as kids, and we're vulnerable, and we bring so much of our power out to, like you said, outsourcing. At some point on the road, the problem is we don't have anyone that tells us, hey, like this was cool. Yes, to have a little bit of structure and order in this society, you need to respect and listen to other people that are here to teach you something. But hey, now it's over. Now you're out there into the real world. Develop your critical thinking. Think for yourself. Don't, like, all this was cool, put it on the back, and now go explore what it means to be human for you, what you want to do, like that kind of thing. And we're missing that part, the awareness on that part. And so then we're all adults still, like, worrying and afraid of what everyone is thinking of us, how we look, because we have so much this conditioning within ourselves. But,
and if you even move, though, like I know you said you're from France, so you grow up in France, you get all the societal norms of that culture, and then you move randomly to Vernon, British Columbia,
yes,
and it's like, oh wait, this doesn't even work, because even I'm from Calgary. From Calgary to here was very different. There's an acclimation period, right? There it's oil and gas, and it's work harder, play hard, play fast, whatever. I think Vancouver is maybe like that too. But then you come to Vernon and it's a little slower, and not everybody wants the Gucci and but there is still its own culture. So when I think, travel is amazing, music is amazing, all of those things. But at the end of the day, we're just this weird little sack of skin and bones moving through this weird earth, like, nobody knows where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
My one girlfriend, the one I was telling you about, we've always said, we have eaten enough crow in our lives. Do you know that expression?
No.
So to eat crow is to when you're like, I know this to be true.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, that's not true for me anymore. Then you have to almost, if you're so public, saying, this is the thing. And then you go, oh, I was wrong. Because it starts to not be right for you anymore.
Yeah.
Then where do we pivot? So I love and appreciate that you're being maybe you're doing it on purpose, but in the limited time that I've known you, you're careful to say it's for you. This is your experience in your life, for your life. And if sharing that can bring something up for someone else, amazing.
Totally.
But you're just trying to figure out your own journey.
For sure.
And through that, helping other people, which isn't that the best way to do something.
I feel like this is what kind of the way to make sense of this existence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, I've had a lot of existential crisis in my life, and since a kid, always wondering, like, why is this? Why am I here? Why do I have to comply? Like, I've always had a little bit of a rebel side of myself, and because I've changed so many times, careers, I've done so many things that, like, I'm like, I can do all these things, like, what is my thing, why, and I feel like kind of for the first time, and I'm 34 years old, for the first time this starts to make sense to me. It starts to give me a little bit of light and hope. I'm like, okay, I'm touching something that is deeply personal and deeply unique, because, like, this exact same thing, like, I've never heard anything like that, and in the same time can provide some help to others. And when I tune into this, I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can deal with that. But I need this. Otherwise, like, I can spiral and be like, I don't want to be here, and I have a pretty big, like, nihilism side of myself. And I've flirted with like this a lot in my life, and it has taken me a long time to just be okay being here,
Yeah, be here now, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's pretty vulnerable, but I think that it's very common. I think we just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, women more so, for sure, right? You get a group of women together, and within 20 minutes, we're going there. But men, not so much.
Yeah.
For those of you that are just tuning in, I'm here with RobinMartin from Bluebird Healing. And we're talking about consciousness, healing, sound, and what it means to stay connected to ourselves, so key, in a rapidly changing world. This was a bit of a curveball, but with everything that is going on, like there is so much chatter around the heaviness of the world, the darkness, we've got to worry, and rightly so, about climate and politics and division. And what in the world where you are in yourself and your healing or your expression of self, where do you see all of that? What do you make of all of that?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I know, loaded question.
I'm a hypersensitive person. I'm hyper self-aware. I feel things deeply, and I'm a little too much. I know a little too much of like what's happening in the world. I can't help but like knowing some things. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard. Like honestly, when and especially this year, there's been like some really, really heavy things brought to light more publicly. There's a lot of things that, quite frankly, like enrages me in this world. And when I'm faced with some things like that I feel like I'm helpless to it. I can see my system oscillating from insane rage and wanting to shake this world and say, and be like, come on, guys. And oscillate to the other side of like deep helplessness of like, I don't know what to do. And so for me, I'm always trying to stay connected to the things I can do with what I have and to embody what I believe is the right direction of, I was going to say humanity, but not necessarily humanity, but like embody the things that I believe are going to be able to quote unquote fight against. Although I don't think we fight. This world has light and darkness, and I think this will never change. But that being said, we can choose to embody. We can choose to embody a way of living and doing things that are going to be able to bring some light into the darkness, so that we can slowly integrate and look at it and have like an impact to alleviate some of the darkness. Like that's something I'm trying to do is having a presence and an impact in this world that can alleviate some of the darkness and the darkness within, or the darkness like in the world. I make a big difference with, because darkness can be different things. I make a big difference with someone's darkness, because we all have light and dark within ourselves, and that we can call, like, it's more commonly called like the shadow parts or the shadow self. I make a big difference with the shadow self and the expression in this world of like conscious evil. I think that these are two different things. I have a lot of compassion and acceptance for the shadow part and where it comes from and why it's here. I have a more hard time with people that consciously choose to do harm and into this world. Like, to me, it's two different things. But at the end of the day, I think the only thing we can do and the only thing we can, quote unquote, again, fight against terrible things and terrible people that are doing terrible things in this world is by embodying the other side of the spectrum and try to radiate like what we can in our surrounding with love and with acceptance and alleviate the fear in this world. And that's how we can actually shift things. And if more and more and more people do this, eventually things just work itself out. But yeah, that's difficult. Like, I have some pretty dark episodes sometimes when I look at things and I'm like, this world can be very, very dark.
And heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was Mother Teresa that said we could change the world if we all just swept our front porch. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I think there's this idea that because influencers and social media, believe me, I love social media. I'm all about it. I mean, I love the modern technologies and all the rest, but I think we have to be mindful that we got carried away. Whether you want to call that ego, shadow work, whatever, we bought into something that is not meant for everybody.
100%.
Yeah, the manosphere, all of that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on. We need to just get back to the very, very basics. And I'm quite a bit older than you. I just turned 57 on the 8th of June. And we've lived through the 80s and, and back then it was the Russians were still coming for us, or aerosol from all our hairspray and the ozone layer. And there are things that are cyclical, but I think if we would just come back to the core human basics of help your neighbor out, be kind, understand yourself a little so that you're not road raging and fueling the narrative that we have right now. Shut off the flippin' news for a while. Like, why are we worrying about what's happening in the US so much? Yes, it affects us, but worrying about it doesn't change anything.
No,
Instead of that hour in front of the news, go out and walk in nature, sit somewhere with peace.
For sure.
With no earbuds. You don't have to read a book, right? Just go hang out somewhere. So yeah, I hear you. I wrestle with that a lot too. Like, I got into counseling because I have a very depressive personality. I'm a Gemini. I can be the highest high and the lowest low, right? And everything looks like, well, what is the point if we're just all going to ruin this earth anyway?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm the same.
So you have to be careful with that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, somehow you have to protect yourself to not too much spiral down in these things, because there is a lot of good as well. There's so much good, right? But it depends where we're looking at, and oftentimes what makes the news and what we talk about is terrible things. But for one terrible things, there's a million of good things as well. So it's like navigating the balance, and like being aware. I think it's important to be aware today of the bad things that are happening, because also it brings up in people like, are we accepting this as a society? Are we accepting, because if we don't do anything and we know about it, in some way we're like co-responsible for things. So it's important to bring light on these things, but in the same time, we need to balance it, and we need to keep the hope and the light in things, and the joy and the fun, and understand that in any way the human experience like blends it all, and we have this intense emotional moments of, wow, this is terrible, wow, this is great, and then somewhere in the middle we're living, right? But
a friend of mine, I was just talking about, a fellow counselor yesterday actually, she's been talking about things that are happening in the counseling world, and she said she's started doing a little bit of shadow work. And she said with a client, the client was in that spin of like, it's all bad, like whatever. And my partner does this, and and I'm right, and so stuck on it. So she wrote the number 6 on a little white card. This is so classic, right? But in that moment, just those reminders, she said, what do you see on this card? Well, the number 6. Oh, really? Well, I see a 9, right? Because you're sitting this way. When you flip it around, what do you see now? A 9. Well, I see a 6. That's the world we're living in right now.
For sure.
It's just how you're perceiving. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. I really don't care. Like, are you a good person?
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's just all see the same numbers, for crying out loud. Okay, I digress. Back to our interview, because here we are. You often talk about being human in a modern world. So having said all the things we just said, but what is one thing that concerns you most about where we're headed?
Yeah. What concerns me most, I think right now, and just like generally speaking, is that people are afraid of expressing their authenticity. We are afraid of diverging from the norm, and the norm was created to have some order into this chaos of a world. I get that, but I think now we have pretty much the results with like mental health crisis, and it is a lot of dark things that are happening. That there's a problem with that, and we start to see the result of putting everyone in the box and just not allowing people, not encouraging people to express who they are fully and tap into the uniqueness, because we're all kind of the same, but we all also have like a very unique signature about who we are, which is like a funny thing to think about. And that's what I don't like, is this thing of all trying to be the same, think the same, look the same. And then it builds this internal distress, because your soul wants you to tap into what you're here for. So that is what it's concerning to me. And I want, I hope we are able to go toward a world where we're able to just accept this diversity, and we have the courage to start like breaking the mold, lowering the mask, and start, to allow, to accept, to be able to hold space for someone that has different belief, that looks not the same, that does different things, without feeling insecure. Oh, you're not like me, so what is wrong? No, everyone is different, and just accepting this. And if we're more open and accepting, it will be a way much more healthy ground on which then we can start doing new things and maybe create a new world. But that's the thing. What scares me the most is like narrow-minded people, narrow-minded, programmed, conditioned mind of human being that are just like afraid of diversity, differences, and then we start to lowering freedom of speech. We can't talk about anything like cancel culture and all that stuff, because everyone is just like super sensitive about everything. I hate that. Like I hate the energy of like taboo and sensitivity in expression. I want to be able to talk about religion, to talk about things that can be sensitive. I want to be able to listen to someone that has a completely different life experience and belief system, because I'm curious about it, and because if we talk and exchange, this is how we gain things. But it's this fear, this insecurity about expressing, about holding space for differences and diversity, that is the thing that scares me the most about human being, is this closeness that we can have. And I hope, and like we were talking about social media, I felt social media is great, and like everything is good and bad. What's great with social media is it has really interconnected a lot of different culture, a lot of different things. The bad side is that it's a lot of like external validation kind of thing, and get people addicted, and it's engineered to like fry your brain on all this like short form content. It's absolutely terrible. And there's actually studies that are coming up that are very alarming to the impact on the brain, especially on youth, but myself as well, like all of us. But yeah, I really hope we go toward and we can spread message, and like for the coming generation, I really hope people and new parents, like we have this approach of encouraging, exploring, diving in, expressing, and not this need to fit into what's there, and just to explore and create and bring in new things. I hope it happens.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
And I have hope. Like I do.
Excuse me.
I do have hope. I think it's not going to happen like that by sitting around and doing nothing, like that kind of thing. And plenty of people are really at service of bringing in this new energy. It's certainly not going to happen by don't doing anything. I think we need to stand up. We need to speak up when there's something that's not right. We need to spread this message, and we need to embody it ourselves. Like I'm talking about that, but I am like daily trying to embody and witness myself when I'm judging something, and I'm like, oh, I'm just seeing this from my perspective because of my personal history. It's just a thought in my mind. This person is doing its own thing. Like I'm trying to really embody that and offer that to people, this non-judgmental energy that allows any sort of things, because I really don't like the opposite of that.
Yeah. Do you feel that that's part of what Bluebird Healing is doing? Is that sort of your contribution to trying to connect people or raise, there's so many ways people say it, raise the vibration, whatever.
Right.
But maybe just back to some humanity, some reluctant conformists out there,
Absolutely.
question it,
For sure. And I think there's dimension to that. Like, yes, for people, it allows themselves, it's an opportunity to be curious of what comes up throughout an experience, to dive in, to just have the time to lay down and just feel like just that, because we don't do this, so just that is already very valuable. And then for me, it helps me healing my fear of expression, because this has been the biggest thing for me, like very afraid of like being seen and heard, let alone do something that's a little different and divergent like that. As a 34-year-old man, like when people ask me, like, what do I do with my life? I help people cry and make people yell, basically. You know, like it's a little different than the norm.
It's pretty darn good though, Robin. It's pretty darn good.
And so yeah, it's every time for me that I do a session, like I feel like it's as healing for me than it is for anyone else. And we're really in this experience together. A lot of the time, I don't know exactly what is going to happen because there's a lot of like intuitive part, and I left the room for intuitive things to move on. So it's an experience where I am with the people, and I'm like, hear what comes up, and we can all feel together, because I feel the same thing as well. Like all these sessions, like it deeply moves me as well. Yeah, I guess it's my way to offer an experience that is a little different, and that's going to impact and have good things. And also, some people sometimes don't resonate. Most people do, but it's not necessarily for everyone. Some people, there's so many modalities anyway that you'll find whatever works for you. But yeah, I guess it's my contribution, but in the same time, it's also deeply for me too. Like if this wouldn't be like a business, and I really don't like the business aspect of everything, I'm not a good business person, but if I wouldn't have made this a thing and I wouldn't allow people to listen to, like I would still do it for myself.
Yeah. Wasn't that what they say? Find something that you would do for free,
right?
Make that your career, right?
Yeah.
There's
Trying to do that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're getting at time, and I want to just, I like this question. So when someone leaves one of your experiences here at the Somatic Hub, or you do, I think you said you're doing something with Angie, like out at Forever Home Sanctuary.
Yeah, I go everywhere.
Yeah,
I've done all over the Okanagan. I've done back in France, do something on Vancouver, on the islands several times. I go at home also to do some things. And then we'll see, and I can go anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world, yeah. What do you hope the most that people will leave your experiences feeling or knowing?
I hope that it helps them increase the self-love. One of the reasons I was doing this is to help alleviate emotional pain. Like that's the one of the main first goal is like offering a moment that is going to alleviate what you're going through, leave with your heart a little lighter, and then really under all that, like makes you have more compassion for yourself and who you are, basically.
Beautiful.
That is the
hope.
Yeah.
Well, Robin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
If you stick around after, we'll do a little promo piece that I'll put out. So those that are listening, you'll have to go back through social media and find that of what's coming up. But what I appreciated about this conversation is that while we've talked about sound and healing and consciousness and all the things, what we've really been talking about, I feel like, is something much deeper, and that's the human experience in our relationship to ourselves. And I'm a fan. Like, I think anybody that can help people just connect back to themselves. Authenticity is a word that has been really overused lately. But I think at the core of it is just get to know who you are without the external noise, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
If people would like to learn more about Robin and Bluebird Healing, we'll include those links in the comments. But it's Bluebird.
TheBluebirdHealing.com. I also I communicate mostly through Instagram.
Okay.
We can put the thing in the...
For radio, go ahead and say it.
So my main Instagram is Robin, ROBIN.URA. Ura.
Okay.
That's my main...
Which you have tattooed on you, so what does it mean?
Yeah, it's... this is the name I perceive of my higher self, of my soul.
I like it.
There's a whole big story behind, but
Yeah,
that's to kind of
but I was
give-
noticing it on you, so it's
Yeah.
worth mentioning. That's beautiful. Hopefully people will check out your work. You can book online, you can do a session here, but also, like you say, on Instagram to find out what's coming up next.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was really
And
cool.
thank you to the listeners. This has been Happy on Purpose on Valley FM 97.9 in Vernon, British Columbia.
Listen.
Thanks for being here. You can find more Happy on Purpose conversations on YouTube.